Hello, everyone. It's Rainbow Open time. We're back. It's season 2. We're ready to go. It's me, Solar Pancake, and I'm here with Edgar today. Edgar, it's week 1, match 1, first stream. I'm super hyped.
I mean, the best of the best, right? You got to stay up to 1 a.m. for something, and today it is going to be the Rainbow Open. Marmaris Esports, best organization in the world, don't at me. But yeah, putting this together, obviously, it's going to be a banger of a matchup for you today. FAU Owls Blue versus Neumont Esports, Neumont Llamas, or they'd like to say Plat 3 average versus Diamond 5 average. So that's something that we can kind of get into when the match actually, occurs and gets on a little bit, trying to figure out, okay, obviously you're going to give the advantage here to Neumont because they do just have that raw advantage, but Plat 3 Diamond 5 isn't the biggest leap ever, so this could be a relatively even matchup, especially if the Owls macro can, remain pretty good.
Yeah, as long as their macro stays up there, it can definitely be a close match. We're in our Twilight division, so that means average is usually around Diamond and below. One Masters player a team, I believe, so a pretty even matchup. And like you were mentioning, as long as the macro can really outweigh what's happening in the mechanics factor, definitely something that we can look at. But we're just waiting for the teams to jump into the map, and it looks like we're actually going to be going to Lijiang Tower first, Edgar, here. So a lot of different compositions can be run, but most of the time we're going to see a lot of brawl here.
Yeah, Brawl. A lot of at the kind of tier 3, tier 2 level right now, you're seeing a lot of Ramatra being played. Interesting enough, the only buff they got recently was just a little buff to that primary fire. Though having a little bit more power in that Omnic form soften up the enemies. Obviously, you think about Ram, you think about big, meaty, muscly arms, and like, why wouldn't you? But still,
yeah.
There's nothing else for it, But it is also quite valuable being actually able to soften up enemies from a distance. When Ram was initially nerfed, the ultimate got not so good, no longer restoring so much armor, and it's like, well, now, this punching power is quite underwhelming. But now you have that punch power, you buy that with some good poke as well. Ram definitely going to be played a lot on Brawl, but yeah, I think it's not even just on Lijiang. Obviously, yes, Lijiang is going to be something that favors these comps a lot, but I think Brawl has just been quite prevalent as of late, whether it was, Malga at his strongest, before nerfs came in, teams are playing a lot of Queen, a lot of Ram, so obviously it's going to be interesting to see, again, these aren't the highest level players in the world, so it's going to be interesting to see whether these lot can, whether they're going to be playing, the standard meta, so to speak, whether they're going to be running their Lucios, their Baps, their Mays, their Sojourns, or we get to see a little bit of variation, a little bit of wildness, because that's what Marmaris brings, and that's what the Rainbow Open's all about, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. That is exactly what it's all about. I know for me personally, when I think Lijiang, I think this is kind of one of those control maps where we can see a lot of the silliness kind of break out. You can see some Junkrats come into play, especially like on Control Center. And then you have Night Market, which is arguably probably one of the best Symmetra maps in the game, being able to TP right up to that high ground window above the point and get that point presence immediately. Definitely things that we can do there. But it looks like we are heading into the match, and it is now time. Rainbow Open is live and ready to go. That's what we're talking about. And it looks like, as we were talking about it, yes, we are going to be starting on Control Center. So really, really close quarters. This is when you can see that Junkrat, that Symmetra come out. But a lot of brawl is going to be happening here. I don't foresee any dive, a little bit too close quarters. Yeah.
Hey, you never know, man. You never know.
You never know what Rainbow's going to pull out.
Yeah, it is a standard. It's very narrow choke. Teams are just going to be fighting for control of the white room as soon as humanly possible. Get a nice overlook of the point. Ram themselves into those, just get themselves into the corridors and through there as quick as you can. Looking at these teams, it looks a little bit like we are just going to be seeing the Ramatra mirror. Going to be interesting whether C Firefly wants to stick on this soldier. Yes, you can offer yourself a little bit more flexibility in terms of the ability to kind of take a large angle, swing round, poke from a distance, run away. Not really play very safe, but also not deal a whole lot of frontline damage.
Yeah, not up for a lot of frontline damage, and we are going to see a little bit of variation. Tony coming out on the Symmetra here, going to give that team a little bit of a boost here to take this positional advantage, and they are going to take easy control of this white room, and it's going to be really hard for Neumont to break through this here against the Owls. And we can see those Ramatra punches coming out like we were talking about, and Volcano's just going to get stuck in a corner. A good lamp going to come out by Lycan, though, to keep him up, and that's going to keep the teams even for right now. Point control is going to to open up, and it's going to move over to there in that fight. The Omnic form being used there by Darts, and that is going to be the Owls taking first control. Tony gonna take out Lycan, and that is probably gonna be it on the push there for Neumont. And it's just gonna be a little bit of a steamroll there for the side of the Owls taking first point control.
Yeah, and you can see the speed there just after the damage had already been done. That initial engage onto Volcano Ride was so good. The ability to, fold your arms, just not take damage, helping out quite a bit here. And yeah, Firefly realizing the soldier ain't going to work out. This isn't a map which really gives you a whole lot of angles, flexibility to work with. Instead, use that sim, get the frontline damage. Ram puts a shield up, ramp up your damage onto that, so full even matchup now. So it really is... So it's really do or die for both these teams.
Fully even matchup, and the window's gonna come out from Wojo and Clown. Clown gonna get the Cheerios downtown through the window. That window absolutely beat Lycanhawk. Lycanhawk's still about 25% away, and now it's just gonna be some cleanup and staggers. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, war crime happening right there. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
So stuck between an icicle and a hard place. Happens to the best of us, man. But yeah, the early window coming out there, Lycanhawk haven't really had the opportunity to pair it up. Mayday's actually going to be opting to go to the Kiriko. This is interesting style. Generally, you want to run your Lucio in these brawl compositions to actually close the distance. But I suppose you can take more off-angles with the Kiriko, play a lot safer. This is actually an interesting team.
Oh, an interesting TP, and they're able to take out Tony! Tony and Wojo are just gone now, and the side of Neumont is going to be able to just steamroll, take the point. They are going to use that annihilation there, and good discipline there from the Owls there to hold onto their ultimates, and they're going to come into this with a huge advantage here, Edgar.
A little bit of topsy-turvy movement here, but yeah, a lot of ults going to be coming up for both these teams now. It's just going to be a matter of execution. Volcano Ride maybe not necessarily requiring the annihilation there. I'd already picked 2 before it, but it's no longer near the strongest ultimate in the game. And Owl's going to make a wraparound here with the wall. This is what you need to use the speed for. And right now, it's being used incredibly effectively by the Owls.
Oh, the TP doesn't quite get far enough, but they're going to take it anyways. The Blizzard is going to come out there from Yui, and Darts is going to take down 2. That's 1 ultimate, and already Lycan's gone. Firefly is going to trade that out, though. Beat is going to come out from Clown, but it's not going to be enough to save Tony, unfortunately. Wall going to come up from Firefly. They're going to fall, unfortunately. Those Ram punches don't care about your shields, unfortunately. And Volcano's going to be left alone. And now we're looking at 1-fight territory and maybe a little bit of a frantic last fight going to come up here. And Lycan, no, that's not what you need right there. You got to stay alive. And now he's staggered out. Oh, boy, 90 seconds.
Yeah, horrific stagger coming out there onto Lycanhawk. And now they're not going to have that. Yeah, not going to have that in the point. Volcano
I don't think they can touch.
Against the wall again. These walls from... No, it's likely not going to be happening. Annihilation out as well. These walls from Yui have been phenomenal. Touch does come through the last minute, but it's do or die time now. It's
do or die time. Volcano not going to be enjoying the ride that they're on right now, and that is going to be first point here in Lijiang taken by the side of the FAU Owls here. And really dominant performance. Yeah, the point got flipped there a little bit, but overall, it seemed like the movement and strategy from the walls coming out from the Owls was just a little bit better. So what on earth can Neumont do here, Edgar, to try to even this up?
Well, this is a point which, yes, the Symmetra can still work effectively to teleport yourself into the main room. Going to see whether Neumont want to mirror that here. No, instead they're actually going to go for the Orisa. Did recently get a couple of buffs. People reacted very strongly to that, not getting a whole lot of, frontline pressure going down. But I believe, okay, now with the Lucio, this composition makes a lot more sense. So they're just going to be playing the Brawl, but they're going to be running the Orisa instead. So try and give Darth a hard time here. But honestly, Ram is very tanky, so it may not matter that much. Yuri getting right into the thick of it.
Right into the thick of it. Tony falling very low as well, but it's not going to matter. The healing from Wojo and Clown are going to carry it to victory. 3 down already for the side of Neumont, and this is just going to be quick cleanup here for the Owls, and it looks like they are going to go to the Alari. I was just going to mention that as well. My goodness. That's not something you normally see, and now they're kind of venturing into this weird, they've got a Brawl tank, Brawl DPS, and some very pokey support line here.
Is there a polite way to say that Alari is a bad idea here? I want Lycan don't get me wrong. I want Lycan to prove me wrong. Hit every single shot in the world. Utilize the high damage as well. But for a comp that wants to be moving so much with the Orisa and behind it and have the Lucio, there isn't a lot of healing. Alari is deceptively not that good at healing people, especially when you're on the move. So going to be seeing how fun of a time Volcano Ride's going to be having here.
Brawl is going to break out onto the point early. Lamp is going to be used. Dart's going to find Firefly, and that's exactly what they need on the side of FAU to keep on the control of this point. But the team is going to keep focusing out. The window from Wojo, not going to do a lot, and in fact, he's going to get found out and picked, but Mayday is going to fall as well, so this still favors the side here of FAU. But now Volcano Ride taking presence on the point. That Orisa so hard to dislodge sometimes if you aren't able to focus her down, but she has to back out as there's just not enough healing like we were talking about from that Alari, and now the punches from Darts are coming through and just wreaking havoc, and the whole time the point is ticking up and the staggers keep coming through, and they're just not finding these fights here, Edgar.
Yeah, How's Clown going to be looking for a very cheeky boop here. Shades of Lee J gone, but not quite. I don't know, maybe a little more work and you'll get there in the end. A lot of ultimates are going to be coming up for Neumont. However, yeah, all 5 ultimates are going to be coming up for Neumont here. But counteracted by 4 from the Owls, and they have not been shy in just letting them loose and just kind of winning fights early.
No, they have not. There's a blizzard from Yui coming out. The wall as well. The Alari, suck him in. Not much going to be found there. Volcano, what a spear right off the edge. Darts is going to fall. That is exactly what you need if you are on the side here of Neumont. And now the Symmetra charged up, just beaming everybody down. It is a giant laser. This is what they need. They have had to invest every single ult. All 5 used here, and the point still has not flipped over. They need to find a target and focus it down here so that they can win this out entirely. Point finally gets flipped over. Wojo going to fall. But now, if you're on the side of the Owls, you can come back with this window, and it's the only ultimate on the board.
Neumont's focus fire is questionable at best, to put it bluntly. There were so many targets in that fight who were dropping incredibly low, as you could see, and no one confirming the kills. Yes, they were able to get it out at the end via brute force, and Volcano Ride actually doing an incredibly good job there, building up to basically another Orisa roll. Going to be taking advantage of the lack of fall-off now to charge that up fully. Wojo got to make something big happen with this window here, or else it just looks like it is going to be another fight going over. TP coming through, very cheeky though.
Very cheeky, and they use the window behind to make sure they can keep the healing up. Lycan Hawk is going to fall immediately. That Alari does not do well in close quarters. The Simturts are trying to do what they can, and Firefly is going to find the pick. Darts is going to have to use that Omnic form probably a little bit earlier than wanted as he's falling lower and lower. Yui going to find the pick onto Mayday, but going to be caught out by Ice K as well. 2 picks coming through for the Owls, though. It's going to be the Terror Surge to come out, and it's going to fall. It makes you incredibly vulnerable, and there's only so much damage resistance that can be found. Tony going to take out Lycan Hawk, and unfortunately, that is going to be kind of an anticlimactic end here for Neumont Esports, as FAU is going to take Lijiang Tower 2-0 here.
I understand that Neumont was allowed in the kitchen to cook, but they burnt the entire thing down. Bluntly. The Orisa, the Alari, it's all some interesting macro. As we've kind of established, the Orisa, it makes sense if you think that you're being differential on the front line. Yeah, as we see some nice shots coming out here from Yuri, from the Owls, putting in a stellar performance on the May. Obviously, the May walls were absolutely sublime, dare I say. But as I was saying before, the Orisa is fine in the frontline sense. Obviously, the role of the Orisa is just to tank all of the damage and bully the other tank. However, here's the thing. Ramatra does that really well. Ramatra has pretty good poke. Ramatra has a shield. Ramatra has higher close range damage. So what's the choice there? You then pair that with the RE2, one with the pylon, which makes you really favor a position of poking from a distance and not moving your team. You play that with the composition, which is all about moving your team together in a tight clump. I don't see the reasoning behind it, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I'm with you there. As a tank player on my team, Pixel Peeps, small shout out there. for our team. We'll be
Yeah,
taking on
yeah.
Atlas tomorrow, but I think we all know who's gonna win that
You're
one.
going
But
against the GOAT Anonymax 16. I don't think you have a chance, mate. You ain't got a chance.
we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. But I know as myself, if I ever have to choose between Ram and Orisa, Ram kind of just does everything just a little bit better than Orisa. Has that ability to poke, a little bit of hybrid playstyle. And really, what the difference was to me between Neumont and FAU there is tempo. We saw it a little bit there from Neumont on that first point of control center. They had a really clever TP. They were able to get behind, get 2 picks, but that was really the only time that we saw them take the initiative there. FAU was always in their face, wanting to go first, doing everything that they can. While on the side of Neumont, they tended to play a little bit more passive. They wanted to play pokey, but it seems like they might just have a misunderstanding of how those pokey comps need to be developed.
Yeah, I mean, it is a point that favors itself to Brawl. I think we spoke about Lijiang entirely. On that, interestingly enough, on that point where they actually played the Orisa run, you can actually get away with a little bit of dive. Farah, Echo, flying characters, quite popular with the ability to kind of, dip in and out of cover, play around the main area of the map, just use the infinite skybox to your advantage there. But no, they were playing a Brawl style, especially because they still maintain the Lucio. You'd understand maybe a bit more if they, swap the Lucio for the Illari. And then you think, okay, well, they're going to be playing a distance. Again, Orisa recently getting the fall-off buff. Still not exactly a sniper by any means, no Sigma, but not so bad at just being able to, hound out enemies from a distance and then maybe go in when the time really demands it. But the Lucio Illari doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Instead, Neumont going to try and redeem themselves with their map pick of Numbani.
Yeah, Numbani, and you were talking a little bit about that. Interesting to see what our teams do here. I think right now we're just kind of waiting for them to get the lobby set up into the way that they need to right now, and then we'll get into it. But really, from what we've seen here from Neumont, what do you think that they can do here on Numbani to maybe make it a little bit closer than what we saw there on Lijiang?
Probably not try and mirror the Brawl. That seems like a bad idea, but they did choose Numbani after all. I mean, of all the hybrid maps to go to, I believe the options there was, Kings, there was Hollywood, I believe, Dorado. He's getting a sheet right now to prove wrong. But yeah, Numbani, this Brawl, you got smoked, you got every other synonym for that you could possibly think of. So why the hell would you do that again? Definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, and unfortunately for us, we are not going insane. They're realizing that trying to take this Ram Jewel is not going to work. So why don't we pick a map with some, very oppressive high grounds? A map which is notoriously terrible for Brawl, to put it bluntly. So
Yeah,
you can run your Winstons, you can run your Divas, run your Doomfists, any kind of dive DPS that you want, something with mobility to get high ground. Mostly, this is just a chance to see if Neumont have a new lease on life. Simple as that. It's not a Brawl map, it's something entirely different. And that is the best we can say before we actually, see Neumont put pedal to the metal.
Yeah, pedal to the metal for sure. And it looks like we're going to have FAU starting out on our defense. So that's what the composition we can look at right now, because the offense, they tend to do a little bit of silly. They like to troll a little bit beforehand. So looking at our defense here, it looks like we are going to be looking at a classic Brawl here. Sorry, we're looking at a classic dive here on the defense.
Yeah.
I mixed up my colors there. So we've got our Winston, we got our
honest
composition.
honest composition.
Some honest Overwatch.
No goofiness.
Yeah, we love some good old honest Overwatch. And when you look at this backline, I know as a tank player, and when I play Winston, the second you see on a Brig, 9 times out of 10, that is a terrifying thing to try to go up against. But it looks like on the side of Neumont, they're going to want to run this Ram Brawl here. They're looking to use this Sim TP probably to get in position and find a little bit of mobility here. They are going to go underneath. We'll see where they decide to go with this teleport. I assume right up to that high ground. Oh, teleport doesn't quite go out. Waiting on that shield, maybe. There we go. Teleport up to the high ground. They want to rush these supports. A good anti-nade comes out, but it is going to be a 1-for-1. Tony going to find the next pick. They're on to Ice K, and it is just going back and forth. It's currently a 2v3, and unfortunately, the defense is going to hold out. Just Volcano Ride hanging on for dear life, staggering himself out a little bit. But I like the idea of this Sim TP if you're going to be running the Brawl here.
Wojo won that fight with the anti-nade. Anti came through at the perfect time when they were all grouped up for the TP. Yes, ended up losing their life for it at the end of the day, but Darth's able to then collapse, not only deal the cleave damage during the setup for the TP, but then also get on them during the TP itself, land, get that impact damage. 60 DPS from a Tesla cannon doesn't seem like a lot, but when it's zapping all 5 members of your team for 300 damage a second, that is huge. Going to be taking a new angle here, trying to get with the Sim TP. Because, you know what, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the anti again!
The anti is just too good. Whoa, Joe, calm down a little there. Calm down, buddy. Like, give him a chance here. Mayday gonna be falling a little bit low. Tony gonna clean it up, though. And now, the side of Neumont, they are still wanting to fight this a little bit. Another anti-nade, that's 2 in one fight here. And from the side of Neumont, they just can't do anything about this Ana on this opposite high ground.
This is the issue. People often run the Symmetra for the ability. People often run the Symmetra and Brawl just for their ability to move things around. And now they're swapping over to the Kiri as well, realizing they don't even care about the speed. They have the Sim to get on top of the Ana. They just need to cleanse the antis that are coming in. Because right now, Wojo's has absolutely... It's so free. You just press E in their general direction, and it's working. So we're going to be trying this one again. Going to see whether this one goes any better. There are a lot of ults now for the side of the Owls, so it's going to be a rough one to fight into.
Yeah, Primal Rage is going to be popped, keeping everybody in the small corner. Anti-nade comes through, gonna find 2. Lamp comes out and keeping everybody alive here, so they survive the anti-nade for now, but in 3 more seconds, there's gonna be another one. I can sense a big one coming in here. A good shield, gonna be able to block that. The Nano and the DPS ults here from the Owls are available, but Tony says, I don't need an ultimate, I have sticky bombs. Ice K is going to fall, unfortunately, and now this is the determining factor. The Ana is still on the other side. Kiri's going to get focused down. 1 pick going to come through, but it's just not going to be enough here from the side of Neumont, and they have to find a way to break through this high ground defense, and only a minute remaining.
Neumont just took too long to deliver the killing blow there. They actually survived the initial aggression relatively well. They did a very, very good job at poking out darts and then setting themselves up. Okay, we have our resource, we have our cooldowns, now we can make the TP play. Not even going to be going for a TP play now. They're just going to try and make Darth's life a living hell. They already swapped to a Reaper way earlier in the fight. They just don't want this gorilla to have a good time, which isn't very nice of them, but oh well, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat. And, you know, if I was Darth here, I would take this as a personal attack, being a tank player. That's a lot of damage focused right towards him. But the duplicate's going to come out, and now there's a second tank on the field. Going to get blown up. That window and Bastion doing so much work. Ice K going to find 2. The Pulse Bomb not going to connect on anything. Volcano's suffering, going to fall, and now it's just Byfly with this Death Blossom. Can he land it here? He's got 2 supports in there. The Break Shield, the stun, the anti. He's done so. The supports playing insane amount of Overwatch there. Wojo, it's staying on the high ground. Clown going down with the rally, and now this is just an all-out brawl on the point here. Who is going to win it out? Wojo going to be fighting the one-on-one, finding the Kiri. How to Clown and Yui going to take him out, and somehow, some way, after what looked so good here for Neumont, they do get 69%, but now they have to hold this first point almost in its entirety to be able to secure the victory.
69%, not very nice, unfortunately, there. But, you know, but running this one through, I mean, Firefly just got way too eager, saw everyone grouped in a small room, but this is where the ult tracking comes into play. Someone needs to be calling that Ana has these cooldowns to shut you down. Someone needs to be calling that Brig's just going to rally and stun you out of it. You're not going to be able to kill him in time. And then after that, well, there goes the bulk of your damage on the point, and yeah, not completely unlosable here not completely unwinnable here, sorry, for Neumont. They did get almost 2 ticks on the point, but it's a rough one, and their strategy it kept changing. It went from go onto the back line to cleanse the nade to kill the Winston, and they succeeded in that. And by the end, they were actually succeeding in that. They just fumbled the bag right at the very end.
Yeah, fumbled it right at the very end, and I think they realized that this Winston was an issue, and I'm looking at this composition here from the side of Neumont, and my brain immediately goes, this is to counter the dive. They've got a Junkrat, they've got a soldier that can poke from high ground, they have an Orisa, which is just notorious to play against, and then you've got the all-formidable backline of the Ana Brig doing, I mean, we just saw what that Ana Brig did at the end of that map there.
Dare I say something out of line here? If you want to counter the dive, Orisa isn't the play for it. Orisa isn't going to be doing anything for a backline. And the entire point of dive comps is, yeah, we're not fighting the tank. Why the hell would we do that? What do we look like, idiots? No, we're going to jump on the backline. So it is going to be obviously Linehawk and Mayday. So Jump is just going to be coming through the corner here from Darton. Yeah, right here you can see the chase coming through. And yeah, Darton, don't know what you're doing there, mate.
Yeah, that was an engage if I've ever seen one. He
Top 10
really wanted to get in
time.
there, and
thanks for watching.
Exactly. And so now they've seen everything. Darths is still wanting to commit to this Winston, still feels he can get value. He really just has to avoid that Orisa, and now that he knows that she's on that top left high ground, that top right is looking mighty juicy here for a primal jump onto him.
Yeah, it's just a case of staging here. You're waiting to try and get on it. Going to be jumping on the Orisa. Anti is actually going to be coming through on the Volcano ride, but again, Orisa very tanky, not going to be struggling.
No.
But Isaac is going down. That's real bad.
That's really bad. Yui finding a huge pick, and now Darce has free reign. Not a lot of damage coming into him. And as I say that, a great anti-nade, but Yui and Tony are going to clean it up in the backline. There's only Volcano and maybe Joe, Ice K, who's back. And Volcano is just falling down. Unfortunately, the tick's coming up. It's one lowly Junkrat. There's not enough treasure in the world to make him try to touch that point. And a quick 2-0 coming up here for Neumont Esports. Oh, sorry, not Neumont. We didn't switch the teams. Yeah. That is FAU. My apologies. So FAU coming through with the 2-0 here to start. Very dominant performance.
Yeah, you could say dominant, you could say one-sided, you could say a lot of things to describe this. I mean, the timing diff right at the end there, I mean, yes, Darth does go down, but that's kind of the idea of the tank, you know? Tanks can often be so afraid to just realize that, yeah, you're there to take the bulk of damage, the bulk of cooldowns, anti-nade, sleep, stuns, all of that. All of that space Darth created the moment the DPS actually came in, it's almost too easy for them to just then assassinate the squishy members of Neumont and then, you know, just remove them from the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think you nailed it right on the head, and we'll see what kind of information or changes Neumont is going to come up with. But for right now, we are going to go to a quick 5-minute break here. We'll be right back with all the action, so stay tuned, and we'll see you right after this break. All right, and we are back. Oh, it has been a little bit one-sided, unfortunately, to start out today. FAU coming out here with a quick 2-0, but now maybe Neumont can turn it around as we head to Suravasa, Edgar.
I mean, it makes sense, you know, Twilight Division, late night stream, and all that. Of course, the Owls be out to play. I don't know exactly what we thought there, but yeah, I mean, Suravasa. So Flashpoint, obviously a very coachable mode, one in itself, where you need to consider the mode itself kind of its own challenge to overcome. It's more a case, you know what I mean when I say that most of Overwatch is just about winning fights so that you can then move the point. But Flashpoint itself, you actually have to consider the mechanics of the mode itself. So you're going to be seeing whether these teams have, you know, had adequate preparation on that. And yeah, Suravasa generally tends to be the more favored Flashpoint map pick here. So, you know, just going to be seeing whether this wants to work out. Whether Neumont can make some kind of turnaround here, because this is the third map, so this is the place to do it. And they have shown a couple signs of life, especially on that first point. They just need to maybe cook a little less with their choice of compositions.
Yeah, maybe keep it a little bit more conservative. I know a lot of times on Flashpoint, this is a map where you want to be going fast, right? Those points tick up very quickly, and you got to be moving around. We see a lot of Junker Queen, especially played on these Flashpoint maps, that shout coming in clutch for a second speed boost. But it looks like, at least on the side of the FAU Owls here, they want to stick to this Ram Brawl. And you know what? It has been finding some success for them. So if it's not broken, no need to fix it. And if we're looking on the side of Neumont, they're going to be rolling out with this Diva on a Curie composition, which is a bit odd.
I told them to stop cooking with the compositions. They didn't listen to me. I do not hate this from Neumont Esports. I just don't know the role that the Mei really has here. Let's be blunt. You're taking angles and you're playing around. Your Kiri can take an angle, your Ana can be in one place, your Diva can go on a high ground, so to fly. That's all. Well, what the hell is the Mei doing? Stabilizing something? I don't know. We're going to be seeing whether it works out. Individual skill can trump all here, and nothing's going to trump Volcano getting instantly popped down the mech.
Yeah, Volcano just is kind of out there. Everybody else is playing on these angles, and it leaves Volcano very much alone. And now if you're looking at the side of FAU, they've got the Mei, they've got the Ram, they have the Sojourn on the high ground, taking these off angles. IceK having to use this block very, very early. Very dangerous situation, but now they have all the position.
Yeah, and now Volcano swapped over to the Ram, which does make a lot more sense here. But now you're on the worst composition. We have established that the Owls composition here just has far more synergy. Dars actually beefs a little bit there, popping that Nemesis form very early, so advancing we taken care of. But yes, you have a Mei, but you don't have a BAP, you don't have a Lucio, you don't have those kinds of things that can really help you out here. And once again, Neumont not really taking advantage of the window of opening, and Tony finding a beautiful shot on the sideline.
A beautiful shot. The wall is going to come out. Darce is going to fall extremely low, but the lamp is going to be able to save him. Tony taking out a second. That's 2 for Tony. Counted up right now. Yui getting another one, and Darce winning that fight out. And this is going to be a first point cap here. Not the end of the world, since you do need 3 of these points for Flashpoint win here. But like you were mentioning, that speed boost just coming into play. Rotation's just not as fast for the side of Neumont.
And there you can see the value of BAP playing in a broad comp. Oftentimes people think, well, maybe Ana deals a lot more, you know, single target healing, but in the situation there, Darth was dead to rights. You don't have time to land the shots. You do not have time to get that much healing in. Why not just press the E? Press the E. Lamp is out. Suddenly cannot die for a few seconds. Incredibly valuable. Allows a lot more aggression, and also allows them to build up to their ults a lot more. And it's gonna be a rough one here, because Owl's looking like they've got a full bank almost.
Oh, yeah, the blizzard comes out. There it is. It's only going to catch Volcano right now. Yui using that ice block to stay alive there in the blizzard, but the IceK going to fall. That is going to be an even trade, though. It is a 4v4 right now. Nobody has capped the point. Winda going to come out, and a good kite here from Neumont. They don't want to play into that, and that is the right call. And now that it's gone, the aggression can begin. The point is going to start getting flipped here by the side of FAU, and this is still going to turn into a brawl. A little bit of an extended fight as both teams are just waiting on that 5th member to get here. And if I'm on the side of Neumont, they're just a little too slow. The suffering going to come out here. The annihilation finding every single person here. Mayday falling. Yui gonna take out Lycanhawk, and just too slow here from the side of Neumont.
not only has Al shown why you need to be running the BAP in these competitions, but they're also showing how your Lucian get the competitions. Firefly just slightly out of position. Normally, not really a problem, can just sprint away. However, as a team, you use the speed boost, you take advantage of that target on the off angle, you run them over. Suddenly, you're in the freest 4v5 of your life here. Al's overclock coming out. Volcano's so low, but he's going to be living just for the time being.
Going to be living. The beat is going to come out to keep darts up in this fight here. Volcano is going to fall. Firefly is going to get taken out as well, and this is just tragic here from Neumont. They can't find any success, and all of the ultimates are finding their value here for the Owls, and they are going to go up 2-0. They need one more point here on Suravasa to take this game 3-0, and lucky for them, the next point is just to their right.
I'm not sure whether Lycanhawk has already used a window. I'm just going to say that we are now at the 3rd point, and Neumont have used a maximum of 3 ultimates.
Ugh.
That's a rough one.
That's a rough one.
And you're wondering, because yes, the Blizzard can actually get quite a lot of value, so that could be quite big, especially because the beat was forced early there, but that's a very early window. Nice wall actually there from Ice Cake to block that off. Volcano going to be peeking it still. What?
Firefly peeking it as well, and I mean, like, there's not much to say other than that they're taking these fights at the wrong times. They're still picking these windows. They don't have the Lucio to rotate, so they just get caught in these situations.
As a famous man once said, it's an FPS game. You get shot in the face and you die.
And you die, that's right.
And they got shot in the face there. Holy hell.
Yeah, they did. They do have 3 ultimates coming up. They have to push the queues, though. That's the problem. Like you mentioned before, they've been sitting at least on this visor in this window for 2 other points now. They have to try to engage with these ultimates here before this Blizzard or Annihilation come out, and it is going to be tough sledding here for them. We'll see what happens here. There's the Blizzard from Yui. Doesn't look like it's going to find anything. A good Suzu going to get him out, but Lycanhawk, that Suzu's not going to be enough for them right there. Mayday going to find the immortality field, but it's not going to be enough. But as I say that, Ice Skate takes out Yui. Volcano going to find Wojo, and now finally the visor comes out. They're still sitting on the window, but Darth says this is winnable, taking the Annihilation, taking down Firefly, and now it's a 2v3. And if you're on the side of Neumont, you have to press this advantage. You have to get this point presence while they are low in health and low on members, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, crucially, Lycanhawk is still alive, so healing advantage is going to be going over here for Neumont. Going to be allowing them to take residence up on this point. Sojourn on this off angle, though. We've seen the damage that Tony has done before. Yui going down.
Yui going down very early. Firefly going to find how to clown. Volcano going to take out Tony as well. The overclock not going to find the value that it's seen. And maybe this is exactly what the side of Neumont needed. A little bit of stabilization found now, and still 2 ultimates to work with, only going up against a window and a beat.
Yeah, exactly. Good discipline there. Only using the Blizzard, and as I said, when you're playing against a group up composition, it will get a lot of value, and it did there, denying the value completely from that Sojourn ultimate. And yeah, Annihilation and a Kiri ultimate as well. Both pretty damn good. Obviously, Beat is likely going to be used to sustain this, and they do have to watch for Wojo's window as well. But this is a fight that can still go either way. Just, you know, hope that Firefly takes an angle here and stops, you know, stacking with the Ramatra.
Teleport used early. Mayday now caught in a little bit of a bad position. A good wall, but now Volcano is left out on an island. Volcano's not going to be able to keep it up, even in that Annihilation. Suzu used very early. The window finding its value right now, but Wojo falling extremely low. He's going to be able to get that shift off, though, and this is not looking good for Neumont. They have the 99, but they are losing on people now. Immortality Field only going to last for so long, and now this is really going to just be up to Firefly and Volcano, as they are going to be the last people here to be able to touch Firefly. Getting caught out, though. I don't know if he can even get to the point. He's not going to be able to. And there it is. FAU Owls Blue is going to take our very first match here of Rainbow Open on our stream in our Twilight division. They're going to do it in a convincing 3-0 manner.
Yeah, pretty loud death rattle coming out from Neumont there. They did not want to lose this one at the very end, but too much damage has been done. We see Tony just flying in saying, "Hey bud, how you doing?" Taking Firefly's head clean off of the man's shoulders, and I mean, What else can be said? It was just a rough match for Neumont. FAL Blues showing that they can really be a force to be reckoned with in this tournament. Come out the gates, first stream match of the Rainbow Open, coming up with a strong 3-0 there. And I just wanted to ask, who do you reckon is going to be player of the match?
I mean, we had a lot of great players there from FAU that it could go to, but I think we're going to have to go to Yui on that first map. Some
Yeah.
really clutch walls, had really good echo play on that second point, making sure to focus down the correct targets. And then that third point, overclock it, minus that last one that kind of got negated a little bit. But overall, really powerful play on three very vastly different heroes. So I think I would give it to Yui here.
Yeah, I think I'd agree, Yuri. I mean, as I said, the walls on first point were just absolutely cooking. The timing on the Echo actually getting play of the game on the second map as well, and just showing more consistent play on the third map too. Yuri, backbone of the team, going to be helping out there. Do also want to give a lot of credit to Wojo as well. Obviously, those anti-nades on second were absolutely criminal, and there was some decent pressure coming out. You know, it's not like it was completely uncontested the entire time. There were some TPs, there were a couple of dives every now and then coming through to try and pressure him out. But Wojo, not phased. The back play at the end, we could see, you know, Darths was in a couple of rough spots there, and Wojo really put in the work to prevent that. So Wojo deserving a bit of a shout, yeah. But yeah, Yuri got to be our player of the match for the day.
Yeah, Yui going to be our player of the match for the day, 100%. It was, you know, maybe not as competitive as we would like for our first match, but again, this is just our first match in this Twilight division, and not just that, this is our first stream of the Rainbow Open. So if you need a quick reminder, here is that reminder. Thursdays, we're going to have our Sunlight division, so look out for the streams then. Fridays, today, right? Twilight division. You get to see my beautiful face like almost every Friday. And,
Oh
like,
my
I mean,
God!
who wouldn't want to see this beautiful mug all the time? Let's be real. And then Saturdays are going to be our midnight division, and on Sundays is our top division, the Abyss division. So make sure you take a look there. Get all of your Rainbow Open fixes in. This is going to be going on throughout this beginning part of the year, and I, for one, I'm excited to cast. I'm excited to play in it, and it's going to be a blast, Edgar.
Absolutely will. Obviously, thank you everyone so much for showing up today. First stream, it's gone quite well again. Match, maybe a little one-sided, but as this field gets slimmer and slimmer as time goes on, matches are only going to get better and better, and you never know what you're going to be in for. This is what the Rainbow Open is all about, taking all these players from all these different skill levels, putting them in a blender, and seeing exactly what they can do, providing us a lot of entertainment. Was there anything that you wanted to say before we headed off?
I think you nailed it. There's going to be a lot of entertainment going forward, and we hope to have you there as much as you can be. Make sure you hit that follow button, subscribe, do all of the wonderful things. Make sure your notifications are on, and we'll see you guys on the next one. We'll see you then.